what first happened? When did you first arrive here to Mackenzie? Take me back to what you remember about that day.
I worked in healthcare in hospitals, 3 different hospitals for almost 35 years. Never expected to be a patient like this. Actually never have been a patient in any of the hospitals I worked in. I had my yearly sinus infection in late August. This one was a little different. It just didn't seem to want to leave. Mm-hmm. And it hurt me when I was coughing. My left rib was just in so much pain. They took an x-ray of my chest while I was in emergency the night of the episode with my rib. And the doctor, she said, "You need to come back. You need to be here tomorrow morning in emergency." I said, "For what?" She said, "We're looking at your x-ray," and she says, "Your chest is filled with lymph nodes. There's a mass on your lung. We need to look at this." And I was in disbelief. I thought, you've got my x-ray mixed up with somebody. Mm-hmm. There's no way I have lung cancer. About 2 days after that, I came back in, and they redid the scans. They sent these 2 specialists in, and they said to me, "You have lymphoma." I went, "What?" Well, my next door neighbor had just passed away from lymphoma about a year before that. So I helped him out for 4 years of his suffering and helping him fill in his papers. He didn't quite understand them. Mm-hmm. So I helped him. And I thought, oh, okay, well, it gives me 4 years.
Mm-hmm. So you had this thought in your mind that...
In my mind already, well, if that's what I've got, that's great news. It's lymphoma. It's going to give me an extra 4 years of my life and possibly longer. Mm-hmm. And then they said they were going to send me over to the chemotherapy oncology department, and which they did. They set up an appointment, and I went over to see Dr. Tweedale. And when I saw her, she told me, she says, what have you heard? And I said, well, I heard I have lymphoma. She says, you don't have lymphoma. And I thought, perfect. What a relief. She says, you have lung cancer. I went, pardon? She says, you have lung cancer. I almost hit the floor. I was in such disbelief. Again, I thought, they got my x-rays mixed up with somebody. It can't be true. I feel fine. I don't have any symptoms other than the cough. She said, no, we need to run some more tests to make sure it is nowhere else in your body and that it's a primary area. Turned out, I had other CT scans. They did a full body scan, and they found 2 brain tumors. So I have 2 frontal lobe up here, mm-hmm. 2 frontal lobe brain tumors. Everybody was as shocked as I was. I just never let myself get down. I was always a very outgoing person.
It sounds like you developed a relationship with Dr. Tweedale. Is that
I did,
true?
Yeah.
How would you describe that relationship between the 2 of you?
She was a very honest, compassionate. She looked out for you, She explained everything. That made me feel so much better here. My worry then was not so much on the cancer, but on the treatment. Is it going to fix me? Mm-hmm. I have children at home, and I want to be with them. I don't want to, die. I didn't ask. I was terrified to know, but apparently I was given 1 year to live, and if I made it past 6 months, I was lucky.
And how long has it been?
And it's 6.5 years now.
That's amazing.
It is amazing.
That's amazing. And along the journey, this journey that you've been on now, what would you say has kind of kept you going? What do you hope for? How do you stay hopeful in the last 5.5 years?
I just continue to be positive and continue to reach out to others. I have a lot of friends that have cancer. Some are no longer with us, but I do have friends that have it. Sharing your story, it helps a lot of people, because they look and they say, oh, 6.5 years or 5.5 years, sorry. and she's still alive. It gives them some inspiration that cancer is not always a death sentence.
Is there something that stands out for you on this journey, like a special moment that you cherish that really helped you, like in terms of the care that you received here?
We used to sit upstairs in the, if you know, the chemo room. There's quite a few chairs there. And of course, very outgoing. Met a lot of people. And I used to, everybody, I would hear them saying, oh, I want to sit beside her, I want to sit beside her. I'd tell them jokes, you know, and make fun of the whole day. I was there for half a day. And, you know, I'd be telling them jokes, and the nurse would come in and she'd say, are you telling jokes again, you know? And yes, because it keeps everybody going, you know? I always say, if you walked into a room and there was 100 people at a table and you put your problems on the table, you'd soon take yours back. There's other people out there who have worse problems than you have. So again, that goes back to cancer is only a chapter, it's not the whole story.